Hi, I'm Michelle Perzan and welcome back to Strength in Your Storm. What happens when you get that call? What happens when you're going through a storm? What do you do then? I still remember sitting in my office getting the call. I was sitting there, I was getting ready to pick up my 3 boys from school, and the phone rang. I was just doing some office work, and just like any other call, I picked it up. I said hello. They asked if it was Michelle Perzan, and I said yes. And they had said, your test results came back. You have cancer. After that, I really don't remember what they said. Something along the lines of, we need to get you in next week, we're gonna set up all your appointments. But I sat there in shock. They didn't ask if anybody was home with me, was I alone? They just gave me the news. So coming from Canada myself, that would never happen. In Canada, if you're going for any test results, you need to be in the doctor's office. For any results, they call you in, you get an appointment, it could be a week, could be 2 weeks. So you kind of sit on edge wondering, what are the results? Can you just tell me, are they good or bad? And they can't tell you anything. So coming to America and getting a phone call like that, and them just telling you over the phone, I was very blown away. But 2 sides to it, right? I thought, how nice that I get to know right away. That I don't have to go back in 2 weeks and find out and wait on the edge of my seat for a result of something. So as much as I wanted somebody there with me when I got the call, I would rather know than wait for weeks and weeks. But after getting that call, then I had to decide, who am I going to tell? Who can I share that with? At the same time I got that call, my mom was in Canada in hospice with bone cancer. Do I call and tell her? Do I reach out to my family and friends? Do I post something on Facebook? I didn't know what to do. I just knew that in that moment I had to make a choice. I had to make a choice how I was going to handle the news, how I was going to handle this journey that was in front of me. So I made a promise right there that no matter what I was going to face, and no matter what different treatments I had to do or surgeries or whatever was before me, I stopped and I said, God, I'm going to praise you through this whole storm. I'm going to praise you and lean on you, because I knew I didn't have the strength to get through it on my own. And I'm so thankful for my faith, because I didn't know how I would have gotten through any of that time without my faith, because it was not my own strength. Every day I'd wake up and pray and say, God, give me the strength I need for today. Give me the wisdom I need for decisions I'm about to make, and help me discern what the right path is for me. After talking to my husband, talking to my brother and sister, we decided not to tell my mom. How can you tell someone who's near the end of their life that their youngest daughter, their baby, Mishy, as she called me, is diagnosed with breast cancer? It would have devastated her. And she only had a few months left, and I still believe it was the right decision. It's hard because, when something happens, there's always that person you want to call, because they'll comfort you and they'll make you feel better. That's who she was. That's who my mom was. If I ever need anything, I would call her and she would help me. So it was quite a challenge not being able to call her and tell her that I had cancer, and let her tell me that everything was going to be okay, and that I was going to get through it, and that she loved me. But I also knew it was the right choice. I had to not be selfish. I had to do the best thing for her. In that case, it was not sharing the news. What happens though when you find out someone close to you has cancer or is going through some kind of storm? What do you do? What do you say? I kind of, after going through it, I kind of had my thoughts, but I wanted to talk to other people and see their thoughts and share them with you. So let's go and talk to a few women and see what they would do. If you just found out someone that you know and love has cancer, what do you say?
About 6 months ago, my brother was diagnosed with bladder cancer, and it came as a shock to us. He was only 42 and otherwise very, very healthy, and it's a very unusual type of cancer for a young person to have. And it was very difficult for us to hear, but we kind of took the approach that you have to kind of make the best of it, find out all you can about it, get involved, get all the information you need, find out all the treatment options, and do everything that you can to get healthy. And so we just supported him. We didn't sit there and have him worry about everything. We kind of tried to keep it light and just supported him as much as we could.
Actually, that's happened a couple of times to me, actually several times. One, my cousin had brain cancer at the age of 3. My grandfather had lymphatic cancer. My mother had cervical and uterine cancer. And you can't really say anything. You have to almost absorb what they're saying. Mm-hmm. And then you get to the point where, I guess, you get to the point where you feel like, how do I feel? And what can I do for them? You almost feel hopeless because you don't have any information.
Unfortunately, I've had that happen quite often. It depends on the person. Mm-hmm. So when my Aunt Margot found out she had cancer, she was crying, she was very upset. And so I just kept telling her how much I loved her and that no matter what happened, that I would always keep her close to my heart and I would be there for her no matter what. And no matter what treatment she sought, that I would be behind her 100%.
You know, I think sometimes I go through in my mind what to say because I want to say the perfect thing. Mm-hmm. But most of the time what I found when I've, had a conversation or interacted with somebody that has cancer, whether they're really close to me or someone that is more of an acquaintance, I think what I found is that they really aren't looking for the magic words, but just to acknowledge and listen and, ask questions. Normally what I'll, say is, oh, I'm so sorry that, you're walking through this. And most of the time I do offer prayer because I personally believe in the power of prayer, whether it brings healing to their body, which I totally believe and I have witnessed to be true, or if it just gives them peace and just to let them know, I don't know what the perfect things to say, but I just want to let you know that I love you and I'm going to walk with you through this. And if you ever need someone to pray with or just, unload feelings or even process what's going on, that I'm definitely here. So, I don't know if that's something that, has been done with you. But I found that, they're not really looking for the perfect answer, which in the past I've always tried to think of the perfect thing to say, which in turn gets you a little paralyzed to say anything because you think like, oh, well, that's not good enough to say that to them, even though it's really simple.
When you find out someone has cancer, do you treat them any differently?
I would like to say no, but the answer is probably yes. I'm more aware of what I say and what I do. I try to make sure that I'm not thinking of myself during a conversation with them. I try to just listen, even if it's just silence on the phone. You try, but you just can't help it. You do. Mm-hmm.
I'm inclined to say no, but I know that I want to be more helpful. I want to be there to lend a helping hand if someone needs time to rest for treatments and, just needs someone to take them to their appointments or needs me to watch their kids. I want to be there for them. So I think maybe I would go out of my way a little bit more to be helpful, but otherwise I would still want to make sure that they understood our friendship was still the same and that they could still, from friendships you want to have that closeness and that levity and you want to keep it, fun. And so I would still make sure that that person was still able to laugh with me.
Mm-hmm. Initially, mm-hmm. I think you do. I think you're not aware that you treat them differently, but again, you don't know what to say. You don't know where the course of treatment's gonna go. I guess I ask a lot of questions. So just depending on, right when you find out, you're on, okay, so what is it? What do they say they're gonna do? And I guess in my mind, I start thinking, okay, how are we gonna treat this? But I don't I guess I want to put like a bubble around them and make sure they're okay. And so in saying that, of course I treat them differently. I want to protect them and make sure that they're okay.
When you find out someone has cancer, do you look at them any differently?
I don't. When I see them, I just see everything about them that has ever made me happy. And that's what I talk about when I'm around them. So, no, I don't think so. I hope not.
No, to me, a diagnosis of any kind would not make me see the person. I don't see how that would change a person. So I would never treat them any different. I wouldn't see them as any different. They might seem like they need a little more support, but otherwise they'd still be the same person to me.
I don't think I look at them differently. I think that I get scared for them, but I don't think they're any more fragile. I don't look at them differently.
When you find out someone has cancer, do you contact them?
Yes, I'll try and reach out as soon as possible. I think sometimes I've kind of looking back, and I haven't walked through this so many times, but in the few times that I've had, I'll try and reach out and give some space after an announcement was made, just to let them know, hey, I'm definitely here to pray with you. And then also I've had some friends have their husbands were diagnosed and they were going through tough times. And I just always want to let them know, hey, just real quickly, whether it's leaving a message, we're definitely here to just process with you. And if you ever need any prayer, just give us a call, and we're definitely here to do that. So I think in the past, just looking back, there were a few times where I was afraid to contact them, just because you kind of have the pressure of well, I don't know what to say. It's heartbreaking for yourself too. So you just don't know, should I give them a little space? Should I call? But I don't want to bombard them. But I think overall, just even trying to leave a message and just let them know that you're thinking of them definitely helps.
For me, that was very helpful when people reached out. I found that when I was brave enough to put on Facebook or let people know that I was going through cancer, that was me saying, here it is, because I didn't know what else to do. Now come, reach out to me, encourage me. So if somebody is brave enough to put it out there and share that they're going through a storm, cancer, whatever it is, please reach out to them. That's such a huge thing I could say to people. Reach out to them, because we don't know what to do, whether it's a text that we get from you or a message that you leave. Those would be the best days for me, when somebody would send me a text and it would be encouragement, just saying, I just finished praying for you, or I'm praying for you today, lifting you up. You're going to have an amazing day. Or I love you. Or a positive little saying. That made my whole day. So when you do that, it would change the whole day for me. So that's so important. If somebody reaches out to you, that you reach out to them right away. And people think they need to give space. If you're texting them, they have the option whether or not they can text you back. But they see and they read those texts, and it means a lot to them.
Wow, that's really good. So do you prefer, if someone is hesitant to make a call because they feel like they don't want to overwhelm someone or bombard them, that a simple message through text is still very heartfelt? Very heartfelt. Meant a lot to me. Because it is harder picking up the phone. You know, I would read the text before I would listen to a phone message. Because especially after surgeries, you're drugged up, you're on medication. That was a lot of work, but just picking up the text and reading it was easy for me to do and meant the world to me. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Good.
Yes, most definitely I do. I will either shoot them a text or just message them on Facebook or call them. And I'll even say, just checking in, how you doing? And if they don't respond, they don't respond. But they will know that I was trying to get a hold of them. Or I just send them, I love you.
just, coming from someone that went through cancer, when I got those kind of messages, text messages, PMs on Facebook, those made my whole day.
Yeah.
That really, when I was having hard days, when I would get a text message like that, that would make my whole day. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah, I think that people don't want to address the big elephant in the room. And I'll even send to my aunt, like, cancer still sucks, and I love you. Hope you have a great day, or whatever.
For me, this episode was super important because I want you to know that if somebody reaches out to you, you find out that someone is going through some sort of storm, reach out to them. Don't back away. When you back away, it makes them feel self-conscious. I know it did for me. So I urge you, please, to, reach out to someone when you find out something is going on in their life. I want to look at something else as well. How did children look at cancer? What do they think of it? So I interviewed my 3 boys, Daniel, David, and Dylan, and here are their thoughts.
Dan, I wanted to ask you a couple questions, okay? What does the word cancer mean to you?
Death and fear.
Why death and fear?
Because everybody that I know that has died from cancer.
Okay. How did you feel when you found out that Mama had cancer?
That I thought you were gonna die.
So you're scared? Is that why the word cancer means fear to you? Makes sense. Did you look at Mama any differently when I had cancer?
Other than not having a chest, no.
That's awesome. So you still came right because we still snuggled together and did things together. How do you feel about cancer, the word cancer now?
That's really just an obstacle, and it's really just an obstacle course in the name of God.
Can you explain that?
Like, there's a series of obstacles in cancer, and if you don't lean to your faith, then you're not gonna make it.
Nice. Never heard it explained that way, but I like it. Thanks, Daniel.
You're welcome.
David, is it okay if I ask you a couple questions?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. David, what does the word cancer mean to you?
It means sad because if you get cancer, you could die, but also it kind of means good because if you survive it.
Yeah, okay. How did you feel when you found out that Mama had cancer?
I felt sad
Why'd you feel sad?
because I didn't want you to get hurt.
Were you afraid that me having cancer would hurt me? Sweet. When Mama had cancer, did you look at me any different?
No.
No? Did I look any different to you?
No.
No? Not at all. So now that I don't have cancer, and you think of the word cancer, what does it mean to you?
That it's good because you survived it.
Dylan, is it okay if I ask you some questions?
Yes.
Okay. What does the word cancer mean to you?
Bad things.
What do you mean by bad things?
You could die by cancer.
Is that what you think? Yeah. How did you feel when you found out that Mama had cancer?
I felt sad
Why did you feel sad?
because I thought you were gonna die.
Why do you think that?
Cause and many people have cancers and they die by them.
When Mama had cancer, did you look at me any differently?
No,
No? Did I look any different to you?
no.
No. Awesome. So what does cancer mean to you now that Mama went through cancer and I'm okay?
It's you can get through cancer by faith with God.
Is that what you think? Yeah. That's awesome.
When you found out Mom had cancer, what gave you strength?
I found strength because I was hoping that God was gonna help her and help it survive, and how I found strength. I just kept believing in God and hoped that He would make Mommy feel better.
What gave me strength was that when I was snuggling with Mom one day, and she told me that she wasn't gonna die because it's a leap of faith to try to get to God through His obstacle course of life. And then when I found out that Mom wasn't gonna die, that gave me strength. But before that had happened, I didn't have any strength when I found out. I was full of fear.
What gave me strength? Okay, when Mama had cancer, she told me she might get through it because God was always with her, and I became a little happy. And then, so I went to my room that time, and then I noticed Mom was in lots of pain at night, so I went and helped her out, and that's what made me strong.
Still breaks my heart to hear that when they hear the word cancer that they think of death. We're breaking that. That's not what's going to happen here. You know, but putting it back on you, what would you do if you got a call telling you that you got cancer? What would your reaction be? You know, even me asking that question to you, you don't know. If you were to ask me before I was diagnosed what my reaction would have been, it would have been completely different. If you would ask me what my choices would have been, what I would have done, completely different than what I did do. Because when you're actually in the situation, it could be completely different than what you thought. If you know of somebody going through any kind of storm, don't judge them for their choices. You can have two people going through the exact same thing. I haven't met one person who's gone through breast cancer that has the exact same journey as me. We all have such different paths, and each person is so different that you don't know what you're going to do until you're put in that situation. So whatever it is that they are going through, support them. Don't judge them because you don't know what they're being called to do and what path they're supposed to do, but what path they're supposed to take. So just lift them up, encourage them, support them, and be there for them. That's what's important. I'd love to thank our sponsors this week, the Guest Foundation. They are a nonprofit 501c3, and they are changing the lives of cancer-diagnosed individuals by providing grants for things like home wound care, home cleaning, things that are so needed after surgeries, but insurance doesn't cover. So thank you to the Guest Foundation. You can find out more at www.gestfoundation.org. Until next week, I look forward to seeing you again. Have a wonderful day.